Hello guys, and here today I'll be showing you the basics of Roblox Studio and what everything means. So yeah, let's hop right into it. So inside our home up here, we've got select, so we could select something, and then we've got our move, and we can move it. We've got our scale, and scale basically means increase its mass, if you know what I mean with mass, like just make it bigger. So you see, we could increase its mass, we could increase its length, we could increase like all those types of stuff. So then next we've got our rotate. We could rotate stuff with our base plate, or we could rotate, let's say, this pine tree. You see? And then after that, we've got collisions. Most people start with collisions. So basically, what it does is it disables the collisions. So you see, it has to collide first before it could touch the ground. So if we take off collisions, it could go through the tree. Sometimes collisions is useful, but sometimes it's not. I usually have my collisions on off. Then I usually take this off, and the join surfaces is, well, I just take all these off. And then we've got our editor. So this is our terrain. So I'll make a tutorial on terrain later on. And then toolbox. This is where we could find models. Like, for instance, if I wanted a car, it will come up with this Lamborghini Hurricane. It's like you could drag the Lamborghini inside our game, and it looks pretty fire, not gonna lie. I'll be driving one of those when I'm older. Anyways, we've got our part, so we could insert a part, and we could just, this is like the basic. So like, if we want to build a house, let's say, we're gonna use these and the part. So we could do move, and then we could rotate it like that. So then we could place down another part and drag it all the way down here, and then drag it like this. And then with our toolbox, we could have a window, and we could place this window over here, space it down, and then let's rotate it again. Oop. What is happening right now? And then rotate it, please, Roblox. Okay. And then we can place it in. Rotate it again. And then there we have it. We've got this little room. And then we could just decorate it and etc. So I'll keep that for now. And then we could change the parts. So we could have a block, we could have a sphere, we could have a wedge, we could have a cylinder, we could also have that sphere. Yeah. Next, we've got our material. Well, actually, we've got our UI. We don't need to worry about that just yet. So this is the material of our part. So let's just say this would be brick. Then gonna just delete that and then place down. Well, also we could go in here and let's make it woodish color, and then let's place a block down, and then you see we could scale it, and then we've got that material, so it's already looking nice. This window, I hate it. Okay, anyways, instead let's just add a door, because without a door I get triggered. I don't know why. Down here we've got our background, so like you could set the background to whatever you want. I like mine. I'll keep it as it is, and then we could just place it on the door. And this is why I've got collisions off. And then there we have it. And I could just delete all of these. Yep, after that, we don't need our toolbox. And then we've got our lock, so we can lock stuff. And we've got play, so when we click play, the game plays. Then we've got our stop, and then our game settings, so when you click this, we've got permissions, avatar, options, all those sorts of stuff. And then we've got team test. Obviously we can't do that because we haven't collabed with anybody. And then moving on to models, we've got select and then transform. I didn't really use that too often. And then we've got collisions, and then rotate and move. One of the biggest things that affects your building. I keep my rotate on 0 so that I could adjust it. Most people have their rotate on 25. I understand that, but I like mine on 0. Move studs, make sure it's on 0, because that's the best. And then the same thing, and then surface. This is the surface of our part, so we can make it studs. And then on the other side, then, you know, surface. And then union. Well, I'll look into that in another episode. Then we've got create, and we could create a attachment. I don't know why we might need that. Then we've got our weld, so we could weld stuff together. And lastly, we could have a rope like that. Then we've got show welds, all those settings, scale, make the scale, just keep it 1, and then effects. So let's say we place down a part over here, and we can make, well, we could scale it with the scale tool, and we can make its material, and I don't really like that, wooden planks, and we can make this grayish, and we could add an effect, and we could add a sparkle, and then it's going to be sparkles. And we've got our insert object, so we could insert a object, and all those stuff we don't need to worry about right now, because we've got, well, we're moving on to test. We've got our test, start, player, mute, and then moving on to view, we've got our Explorer tab. So I just click mine, and then you see we've got all our stuff. So workspace, camera, terrain, door, all our stuff. So if I select all of this, it's all of that. We've got our workspace. So the workspace is the workspace. So basically it's the game, but there's a game up there, but they just don't show the game. And then we've got camera, so this is our camera, terrain, door, and blah 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 blah. And then after that, we've got our players. When we press, well, you could add a player. I don't know how to do that, but lighting. So we could add a lighting. Let's say sun's ray effect, and we have a sun's ray replicated first. These two I think are like the storage, so we could place that in there to chill out. Server script service, server storage. Yep, server storage is like you can place stuff in there and it'll get stored. And then we've got our starter GUI. So if we went on screen GUI and then we added a text label, and then inside the text label we could expand it, and then that's where our UI comes in handy, and we could add a text image here, and we can just design anything we want. Starter pack, this is what we start with, so we could add a tool and then add a handle. Handles or whatever, blah blah blah. Delete. And then we've got our starter player. So again, I have a tutorial on that. Sound service, chat, local, test service, and you know the drill. So I'm just gonna delete this screen GUI. Well, actually no, it's gonna be a good example in a bit. So back on view, we could place down our properties. The properties are the property of what we have. So if we select text label, you see we've got all these options here. So we could make it active, we can make the background transparency to this sort of yellow color, greenish. Background transparency, we can just make it full. Border mode, middle, border size pixel, and so on. Layout order, to name, so this is our name, so we can make this big boy. And then we've got our select, it could be selectable, so I could select it somehow. And then size, so you can make the size whatever you want, but you could also make it here. Well, back to our text label actually. Now we could go onto Zindex. It's visible, so you can make it visible, or you could not make it visible. And then we've got our font, so the font of our thing, well, text label I should say. So we could make this cartoony, and then we could make the text wrap to true, and our text scaled, so this will scale the text. And then we could change the color of it, so like we can make it a red. And then our image label, we can make it active. And then we could make, well, here our image, so we could add a ID to this. So right now it's the default ID, and then we can make our image color to a blue, let's say. Alrighty, so now that's done, let's move on to these. So the game explorer, so first we need to publish it, and it's going to come up with all these menus. And then we've got our toolbox. Again, tutorials, you could learn Roblox tutorials, but learn from me because I am way smarter than Roblox. I'm not. Objective browser, so you see how many objective things there are, like these are all like the script things. So when we insert a script in this part, we write game dot workspace and then blah blah blah, get child or whatever, So I might make a scripting tutorial on the channel soon, and then cow stock, we don't need that. You don't need to worry about these breakpoints, don't worry about that. Team create, if you want to create with your friends, you're going to have to publish it, and then go over here, game settings, and then make your options, permissions, and then you need to turn on team create, and then down here there should be like this text thing, and then that you could add your friend, and then after that we've got a frame editor like from before. Script recovery, don't need to worry about that. Full screen, so we can make it full screen. We could screenshot, record a video, no need right now. Well, if you want to record a video on Roblox Studio, then sure. And then show grid, it's like you can show a grid on your base plate, that could help you sometimes. Grid material, it's a bit more fancier and it looks cool. And yeah, that should be for view. And then plugins, so you could download plugins by going onto Roblox and then going onto inventory and then go onto plugins, and then you could download all these amazing plugins like this one, the part of terrain plugin. I'll put it into the description because it's really awesome. So we could set our color or whatever to like let's say grass, and then we click on our base plate or part, and then it should turn into grass. And then our health bar and ragdoll death if you want it. And then also this other one, you could drag the sun around and the moon. It's really cool. I'll put that into the description too. I'll put all the plugins that I use in the description that I'm showing you, not all of them, otherwise it's going to take up the whole description. And yeah, that should be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.